Welcome back to Cast Polymer Radio and interview for Cast Polymer Connection magazine for our winter issue. I'm pleased to have Derek Hill of Syn-Mar Products. He's VP of Syn-Mar, and always good to have Derek. He's been on the podcast before, and great to touch base with him on marketing, because marketing is the lifeblood of any business. You can't really be stingy on marketing, but there you can do some inexpensive things for marketing that don't cost a fortune. And that's what we're going to be talking about with Derek today, because he's doing some really cool stuff on social media, and he's going to be sharing a little bit about that today on this interview. So Derek, thanks for spending some time with me today, man.
Thank you for having me back. It's a pleasure to be back.
If you're not connected with Derek and you're on LinkedIn, you should reach out and connect with him. He posts some really good stuff. So I want you to talk about some of the tools that you're using. I think you use Instagram, but more importantly, we're going to talk about Snapchat Spotlight, which I'm not as familiar with, but you're using that. And recently you really got some traction on some videos that you're posting. First of all, what platforms you like to use for marketing, and tell us a little bit about Snapchat Spotlight.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll start with kind of my journey in marketing as a whole. Many years ago, when I was new to this business, new to this industry, I created a lot of Syn-Mar social media accounts. I was super interested and engaged in social media marketing early on. I was a Syn-Mar social media marketing coordinator for many years,
Right.
and I really enjoyed it. There was a period of time where I got a lot more focused in the sales side of things. I gave up some of the social media marketing responsibilities. I just had other focuses at the
Sure.
time that I felt were more important for the business. The end of 2025, it became very apparent to me that I needed to spend more time, money, and energy on
Yeah.
marketing in 2026. I realized that a huge opportunity for me was to make personal content tied to the business. You can find me pretty much anywhere at dhill.synmar.
Yeah.
So dhill period SYNMAR, no dash,
Sure.
no space.
I want you to mention, because people may not be as familiar with Snapchat Spotlight. So how is it compared to other things out there?
So Spotlight is Snapchat's version of TikTok. A lot of data out there that suggests that Snapchat's demographic is definitely skewing much younger. So there's a lot of
Ah,
younger people on Snapchat, and started using Snapchat Spotlight as a trial ground. What I found success with certain pieces of content is super short, digestible, loopable, satisfying content. I use it as a trial ground, and I've had a lot of success with a certain amount of small pieces. For instance, my post that I referenced on LinkedIn referenced getting over 100,000 views. I am looking at it right now, and that same piece of content, it's a 5 or 6 second video, has 338,000 views.
is this the one? Because I'm
That's the
I'm
one.
highlighting it. Yeah, on the videos.
Mm.
I'm going to play this. I've got the volume down, so I'm going to change. Oops, I don't have the volume. There we go.
So that's it.
Isn't that amazing?
Has
Just tapping those
338.
out. That's satisfying though. If you sit there and listen to it or watch it, it's cool.
Yeah. And the whole point of this is I'm not on there. I'm not selling. I'm not even really necessarily branding. My brand is in my bio, but I'm not
Right.
selling anything. And so I'm not really searching for lead generation. Of those 338,000 people, nobody could ever purchase our product, but
Right.
maybe they'll look in a little further and dig into my content and find Syn-Mar Products. My whole goal when I started out on this was I started with LinkedIn. I'm getting comfortable with the content because, as I'm sure, Jonathan, it's a little bit vulnerable to put yourself out there and
Always. Yeah.
put your face on camera and
Exactly.
talk about the ins and outs of your business,
Right.
something that I've never
Yeah.
done before. So definitely a challenge. Using LinkedIn in a more professional setting, I think, is more forgiving. It got me more comfortable with editing. It got me more comfortable with putting my name out there. And so part of my strategy was to start on LinkedIn, give that about 30 days, which I've just started on Reels just this past week.
Yeah. That's cool, man. So you went 30 days on LinkedIn, and what was your impression over 30 days?
I got amazing results. I'm very happy with
That's
them.
great.
I'm looking at my account right now, and over the past 28 days, I've gotten just over 12,000 impressions in the past 28 days.
And for you, that cost absolutely nothing but your time, right? You're not paying, you're just putting the content out there. That
I'm just
they're
putting the content out there. It costs
yeah,
nothing but time for as far as low cost marketing goes. Now, of course, it's my labor and my time, but
your time. Yeah, yeah.
I
Which
think
is
it's well worth it.
what do you think is that sweet spot for creating content specifically in our industry where we've got a lot of manufacturers out there? What do you think that people are, from your testing and some of the things that you've put out, what is the recipe for really good content?
I think the recipe is just being your authentic self and
Mhm.
documenting your journey.
Okay.
That's the reason that I set out on this because it's not about trying to create a viral hit or trying to get views and get likes.
Like,
Bottom line is there's really not that much manufacturing content out there. There's such a void. There's such a missed opportunity because when I explain things, whether it's to my friends or to my wife, or when a new customer or prospect comes in to tour our facility, they're just blown away by the production process because if you're not in the manufacturing industry,
yeah,
you just don't understand all the processes and
yeah,
legwork and thought that goes into making our product. Anybody can make something one time,
yeah,
but we have to make it replicable. And that's all about
yeah.
processes and
Consistency. Yeah.
consistency. And I think it is yet to be seen, but I think there's really a big opportunity here. And once the algorithm kind of learns about me and the content that I produce, I think there's going to be a lot of people out there that are really interested in it.
Consistency, it's all about that because you see it in any kind of marketing. If you're doing it just a few times and you think that's gonna that's gonna turn into anything, you're probably wasting your time. You have to have a long view approach, whether it's creating reels, videos, even podcasts like this. It takes time to build traffic. It's like that snowball effect and it builds momentum, but you have to be doing it a while before, like you said, the algorithms start to give you a little bit of, okay, this is not a one-time deal, but it is consistently putting out content on a regular basis.
Yeah, and I think one thing to emphasize that point as well, we don't live in a world of social media right now. It used to be social media, who you
Mhm.
follow, where you're at, and
Right.
things like that. What it is now is it's interest media.
Mhm.
And the algorithms are designed to keep you engaged on the platform. So they
Yeah.
will continue to show you things that you hover over and continue to watch and
Yep.
engage with. People out there are going to be interested in the type of content that I make. And
Yeah.
you're not going to find them on your first video. You're not going to get
Mm.
100,000 views or some crazy exposure on your first video because the algorithm has to find those people.
Yep.
And that's time.
Yeah. They need the personal interest story, like the background or the everyday, what it's like from
Mhm.
your perspective. It's all about the personal interest story that's involved, you know? And
Absolutely.
sometimes those aren't people think they need to paint this great picture of what their business, how great their business is and all of this stuff. But sometimes engaging content is like, what is like this? We've had a tough day today. It's been a tough day at the office. It's been a tough day at the plant. And just being real with people. Here are some of the things that we have to deal with on a constant basis. We love the business, but these are some of the headaches that we have to go through. It just gives people a behind the curtain scene of what it's like.
Absolutely. And perfect example of a show that was on primetime television on a major network was How It's Made. And I
Yeah.
think to your point is if you can take that and replicate that and tie in your personal story and
Yeah.
share that, I'm a third generation manufacturer. My
Mhm.
grandparents started this company and
Yeah.
sold the product, made the product, and delivered it in their own station wagon. That's a true story that I think people would find really engaging and be interested in.
And I'm assuming you do all your content with your phone, right? That's all you
Just
need,
my
right?
phone.
So if you were recommending to somebody who's looking, oh, where do I even get started? Where would you recommend them to get started first?
I would definitely recommend getting started on LinkedIn. And I
Okay.
think there's undervalued attention there. And what I mean by that is that the algorithm is going to be more generous to you
Okay.
because there's less creators on the platform.
So you
There is room there if you're keeping it professional and not making it all about your personal life.
okay.
I think the biggest thing is just don't overthink it. Just
Don't overthink.
turn on your
Exactly.
camera and record, splice together something real quick and
Yeah.
just post the content. Biggest thing too, Jonathan, is that it's the late night economy. I can work on these videos if I'm at home, if it's midnight, if it's 5 a.m. and I'm up early, I can work on these videos. So you don't have to be at your office for a normal work day during a normal
Absolutely.
production shift to put in the extra time. I've really learned a whole new passion for it, like I've said, and
Yeah.
I've just working so hard in the business. You sometimes you lose that creative bone. You're just helping
Yep.
other people, you're leading other people, you're working on the floor, making
Mhm.
custom calls, and it's really nice to have that creative edge and give you something
Yeah.
to create rather than consume. Look, if you're in the trenches, working, trying to grow a business,
Right.
document the journey. That's
Yeah.
literally it. Just document the journey and people will
Yeah.
be so interested in it.
Man, this is so good. I loved talking about this. I could talk about this for hours, but I want to be respectful of your time, Derek. And I do appreciate you spending some time today and sharing what you're doing and what's working for you.
Thank you for having me, and I appreciate your time as well.